Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So obviously today's setup is a little bit different. I'm actually filming at my sister's house. We've been staying here for almost a month now, which is crazy because I feel like in a blink of an eye we've been here for a month, which doesn't feel that long. But yeah, we've been here for a while our house is getting renovated, and I'm hoping to be moved into the new place by this weekend. Today is Tuesday, February 2nd. It's actually around like 9:45 at night while I'm filming this, hence why the lighting is kind of weird. I have like a little mini ring light kind of stacked on top of my tripod, and I am using a new vlogging camera that I picked up today, so I'm hoping that the camera settings and the audio is really good on this camera. But the point of this video was to come back with a pregnancy update for you guys. I have not made a pregnancy update since week 28, I believe. And I did not mean to just fall off and stop doing weekly updates, but honestly it was a combo of work, of pregnancy symptoms, and this whole moving process that I just have not found the time. Today was like the first time that I got all my filming stuff out again to sit down and film a proper video, because all my stuff has been packed away, like my entire filming setup, lights, tripods, DSLR camera, it's been packed away. And I didn't want to just stop doing the weekly updates and come back and be like, I gave birth, here's my baby, because I do want to keep documenting everything that's happening in my first pregnancy, because I know I'm gonna want to look back and just relive it, see how I was feeling at a certain point, and if we're lucky again to get pregnant again in the future, kind of compare the two pregnancies and kind of remind myself what I went through to mentally prepare myself again for the second baby. But I also didn't want to come back and backtrack for the last 12 weeks and do a pregnancy update for each week, because obviously I am no longer 29 weeks pregnant. Today actually marked week 39 for me, and we're only a week away from meeting this little boy, if he's not overdue. But it's just insane that we have 1 week left. Like, it's crazy to be 39 weeks. So yeah, I didn't want to backtrack the last 12 weeks and try to, even though I wrote all the symptoms down, it just didn't feel like a genuine update since it's been so long. So instead of doing a weekly update, I'm gonna do kind of a whole update on my last trimester. I did this for my first trimester before I started doing the weekly updates. I did everything that happened in my first trimester, which I found really helpful even now going back and watching that video. So I wanted to bookend this pregnancy journey and update you guys on everything that happened in the last trimester. So hopefully if you've been following along with me or have been pregnant along with me this whole time, you can still kind of see what I went through the last trimester. And I also decided to vlog my last week of being pregnant, which I started today, obviously, because I turned 39 weeks today. So I'm excited to vlog this whole week. It's been kind of awkward because I don't really vlog. I don't really whip out my camera when family's around or when anyone's around. So I'm trying to get more comfortable with it because I really want to start vlogging more. So I'm trying really hard to kind of step out of my comfort zone and vlog more. But yeah, so I am vlogging my last week of being pregnant. So after this last trimester update, you're gonna see my last week of pregnancy, and hopefully in just like a few days after, he'll be here and we can all meet him. So that was a really long intro to this video, but I didn't want to come back and just jump right into a pregnancy update. Without further ado, if you want to see what I've experienced in my last trimester and kind of compare it to your own experiences, then please just keep on watching. So let me pull up my notes, because even though I didn't film the weekly updates, I've always written down new symptoms for that week, just in case I do end up filming it, which I'm glad that I did write down the symptoms. So a lot of the symptoms in my last trimester were the same, or just old symptoms that came back from the first trimester, which I'll get into. So week 29, I felt Braxton Hicks. I can't remember if I felt the Braxton Hicks in week 28 or week 29 for the first time, but I did write it down for week 29. So I'm thinking that's when Braxton Hicks started for me. And since week 29, they've only gotten more frequent and lasted longer. I can remember it being a lot more comfortable than it is now, obviously because I'm so much bigger and he has very little room in there. So when the uterus contracts and tightens, like terribly uncomfortable right now. But week 29, I just remember it being very mild and lasted like maybe 10 to 15 seconds and it went away if I changed positions. I also put down that it was getting harder to breathe at week 29. I do remember that it was just like harder to breathe when I sit back on the couch, when I lay down, and it started as early as week 29 and it has not gotten any better now that I'm further along. So week 30, there was a lot of movement. This kid kicks all the time, all day, all night. I'm not even sure if he's sleeping in there. But week 30, I did remember, or I do remember that he kicked and moved and rolled so much throughout the day, and even at night it would wake me up sometimes. I also put down that I had some vision changes in week 30. I did read that you can get some blurriness and see more floaties, which is what I experienced. I'll start to see floaties. It doesn't last long, but it just lasted that week, maybe once or twice that week. I haven't experienced it since. And week 30 was when the swollen hands and wrists started to occur. My hands and my wrists and my fingers have now just become extremely swollen. You can see it like on camera right now. I've been joking that like the bigger and more swollen I get, the more my hands look like my dad's. I got my mom's hand, like for sure I inherited her hands and her nails, but for some reason during this pregnancy as they get more swollen, I'm seeing my dad's hand, which is so funny. So yeah, they're extremely puffy and swollen, and I'll get into the numbness in a little bit, but at week 30 is when I really noticed that my hands started swelling. I couldn't wear my wedding band anymore. I stopped wearing my engagement ring I think a few weeks before, but my wedding band doesn't even fit anymore. The ring that I have on now is just a Swarovski ring that I got years ago, and it used to fit me on my index finger, and now it doesn't even go like past my knuckle, and it fits me semi-okay on my ring finger. Like I went up at least 2 ring sizes. Week 30 was also when I started noticing him hiccup, which was the cutest thing to experience, and it still is. He still gets them. It's just like a small thud, and it just keeps repeating for like a minute or two, and I think my husband was able to feel it, and it's just the cutest little thing. We actually did the 4D ultrasound, and he had hiccups during the ultrasound. I'll insert a clip of it here, but it was so cute to feel it on the outside, but to see him actually having the hiccups on the monitor as well. It was a really cool experience. Week 30, I also did my 3-hour glucose test. I think in my last update, I did tell you guys that I failed the 1-hour one by like 4 points. So I had to go back, do the 3-hour one, and the following week, I found out that I did pass it. Thank goodness. So in week 31, I got my Tdap shot. I passed the glucose test, and my pelvic girdle pain started occurring. So pelvic girdle pain is obviously your pelvic area just being stretched. It's loosening. It's not very structured and held together anymore. It's just very floppy. So there's a lot of pressure down there. I remember just walking down the hall in our apartment, like it was so painful around my crotch area, between my legs. Like it was painful to just walk. And I think that's when I started having to waddle. But yeah, I mean, I still have it to this day, but boy, when it first started, it was like I've been at the gym for 3 hours a day before doing legs or something. Like it was so painful, so achy. It felt so stretched out, and nothing helped. I couldn't do like any squats, get in a comfortable position, or even walk, like I said, comfortably. It was really uncomfortable. Week 32, nothing really new happened. My heartburn came back and my acid reflux came back at night. Week 33, again, I put down swollen hands. They just got bigger. Hurts to walk, more hiccups. At our doctor's appointment, she said that he was now head down, which was really good to hear, and just lots of movement all over. I mean, this kid kicks all day long. And I also put down sore feet, because I think that was the week that like the arch of my feet just was so painful that when I walk, it felt like my whole foot was being stretched out, and I'd have to kind of like walk on my tippy toes just to relieve that pressure off my arch and my heels. Week 34 was not a fun week. This was the week where I started to notice stretch marks. I went through this whole pregnancy expecting to get stretch marks, because I have stretch marks from my teen years all on my butt, and I just figured, you know, I get stretch marks so easily because I am so petite. that I was gonna get stretch marks during this pregnancy. So up to week 34, I was like, maybe I won't get it. Maybe I kind of lucked out because I do lather myself with belly butter and belly oil every single day. Put on my belly, my boobs, my arms, my waist, my hips, and my butt. So I'm like, okay, this is good. Week 34 hit, and for some reason, stretch marks everywhere. My stretch marks are so bad right now. Thankfully, there are no stretch marks on my stomach, which I don't know how I lucked out there. Maybe they'll pop up this next week, just, you know, as a nice surprise for the last week of my pregnancy. But I have super red, kind of purplish stretch marks on the top of my butt, which I wasn't expecting because I literally oil myself twice a day these past couple of months. I have stretch marks on my inner thighs and like on my actual thighs. So those 3 spots are where my stretch marks are at right now. Again, no stretch marks on my boobs or on my stomach. It's really just my butt and my thigh area, which, I mean, there's really nothing I can do. I'm still trying to oil myself and just lather myself and moisturize really, really well so that they don't spread. But it is what it is. The stretch marks is not something that I can control, that I can fix. So I'm just gonna have to live with it. Also in week 34, numb fingers. This has been such a pain in the butt of a symptom, and I still have it to this day. So it started off with these 2 fingers, my ring finger and my middle finger on my dominant hand, which is my right hand, just tingly, numb. And then as the weeks progress, my thumb got really numb and tingly, and now these 4 fingers are completely numb, tingle all the time, and sometimes it's so bad that I can't feel what I'm holding. So if I'm eating, like my utensils, I'll stop feeling the fork. If I'm washing my hair in the shower for too long or using the hand too much, I actually won't feel like me touching my hair and lathering in the shampoo and stuff. It's the weirdest thing. And now when I have my arm just kind of resting on the side or swinging, it starts to go completely numb and starts aching and gets really, really painful. It's like all the blood is rushing to the tips of my finger and it's just pulsing. Like I can feel my fingers start pulsing and it gets so, so uncomfortably painful. So yeah, for the past 5 weeks, I've had to deal with numb fingers and that has not been fun. Also during week 34, I just started to crave sweets. My whole pregnancy, I've been able to eat semi-healthy, kind of craving fruits and healthier options. I don't know what happened in the last trimester, but I now want sweets all the time. Bubble tea, cakes, ice cream, pastries, like anything sweet and indulgent and chocolatey, like I just need, which is so, so bad because obviously I don't want to pass all the sweets and sugars to the baby, but I crave it so, so bad. Week 35, I actually put down no changes. It was just the same symptoms: numb fingers, craving sweets, harder to sleep, harder to breathe, but not much new in week 35. Week 36, I did my B-strep test. I had a lot of cramping on my left lower back. It was just a really painful kind of like spasm cramping just right down here, where if I like moved, it would hurt and it would take my breath away and I kind of like yelp. Or if I bent over, like it was really, really bad, and that lasted for about 2 weeks for me. I've also been more tired and sleepy, and then I put 3 numb fingers. So that was the week where my thumb went numb along with my middle finger and my ring finger. Week 37, my B-strep actually came back positive. And obviously you don't want anything to come back positive. It worries you, even though the doctor kind of just assured me anyone can have it, whether they're pregnant or not, and it's not anything harmful or dangerous to me or the baby, which is the important part. But when I am giving birth, they will have to put me on antibiotics so that I don't pass it along to the baby when I deliver the baby. So it's not something you want to hear. I'm trying really hard not to Google the crap out of this and worry myself and make myself more anxious, but it was kind of like crappy news to get. I put down that the baby was lowering. She did say that he is getting lower, and I noticed that because I would look down at my stomach and notice so much more space between this region right here. Usually my belly's like up and my boobs are sitting on my belly, but in week 37 I did notice that like my boobs were no longer touching or sitting on the top of my belly. So he was lowering quite a bit, and the doctor confirmed that he was lowering as well. Pelvic girdle pain, I mean, it's been hurting since the beginning, but I noticed it more in week 37. I also noticed my tailbone pain was back. So this tailbone pain, you guys have heard me talk about this in previous updates, but it comes and goes. This week it's an okay week, like I'm sitting here and I'm okay, but sometimes at night when I roll to switch positions, it is so painful that I am like moaning and groaning just to roll over to my left side or to my right side because my tailbone pain is so bad. We're sleeping on a Tempur-Pedic right now, and I can't imagine, like, if the Tempur-Pedic isn't helping this tailbone pain, I don't know what else would. This is like the most comfortable bed I've ever slept in, and my pelvic pain and tailbone pain is still quite uncomfortable, so I think it's just pregnancy related. So week 38, not much has changed. I put down I can't sleep, but this was also the week where I got really emotional. This entire pregnancy, I can honestly say that I haven't let my hormones get the best of me. I haven't been sensitive this entire pregnancy. I've been pretty good keeping control of my hormones and my emotions. I think I've just been so happy to be pregnant. So week 38, we went to the doctors, normal checkup, nothing happened that would make me emotional or sensitive. And afterwards, I wanted a bagel from Starbucks. So we went to Starbucks, got my bagel. I don't think anything significant happened at Starbucks, and we were just joking around, and he joked around with me like we always do, you know, like it was nothing mean or nothing insensitive that he said, but I just started to like cry over my bagel. Like this poor man, I just started crying eating my bagel, and then I was like, you know, it's 9 in the morning, I cannot deal with today right now. And after my bagel and my cry fest, I literally went back upstairs and took like a 2-hour nap and woke up feeling like so silly and so dumb for crying about nothing. Like he didn't say anything that would warrant me crying over my breakfast, but that's just what happened. I don't know if I was just kind of feeling all the anxiety of the move, of being 38 weeks pregnant and not being settled in our new house, and like the baby's room wasn't ready, our room isn't ready at the house. So I don't know if it's like all those stress and emotions and my hormones all catching up with me, but that was a really emotional day for me, but it hasn't happened again since. So luckily I haven't had to wake up in the middle of the night to pee a lot like most pregnant women. You just hear like all these stories about women having to wake up 4 to 5 times a night to go pee because the baby is so low and there's so much pressure that it's just pushing on the bladder all day, all night, which it totally does, because during the day, I think I pee like at least 15 times a day. But luckily for me, I haven't had to wake up in the middle of the night too often to go to the bathroom. I think at week 37 to 38, I've had to get up like once, maybe 3 or 4 times a week, and you know, go to the bathroom, but it hasn't been too bad. I really thought I was gonna have to wake up like 4 or 5 times a night to pee. So these last 2 symptoms are newer symptoms, and they're also very TMI, so if you're not into that, maybe skip a couple of minutes ahead. So for the past couple of weeks, during week 37 and 38, I have been noticing a lot more discharge, which is completely normal. That's what they tell you is going to happen these last couple of weeks. It's just your body preparing for birth, and it's just setting everything in motion. So I've noticed a lot more discharge, which is uncomfortable, obviously, because you don't want to feel that kind of like gush throughout the day when you're just walking about. Yeah, I've noticed a lot more discharge in my underwear, so I try to go to the bathroom more often so that I can clean myself up more often, because I just don't want to feel it. And the other new and fun symptom is that I am just peeing myself. Like, it's not a big gush where I have to go change my pants or anything, but if I'm just walking around, I pee a little bit, like just a tiny bit, but it's enough to be like, oh crap, like am I gonna need to actually go, or can I hold it? Yeah, so just like a little pee would come out throughout the day, and it's only happened this past couple of weeks, and it would happen like a couple of times a day, maybe 3 times a week. So it doesn't happen every single day. Thank God. I don't know what I would do. And this past week, like, it would happen more often. So I'm like, is that pee? Is my water about to break? Is that amniotic fluid coming out? It's like putting me on edge, not knowing if my water is breaking or if I'm just accidentally peeing myself because there's so much weight down by my bladder area. So that's it, guys. That was everything that I experienced in my last trimester. I hope I didn't scare you because the last trimester has been quite a ride for me, but honestly, I'm just so thankful that it flew by so quickly because now looking back, being 39 weeks pregnant, it's just like, wow, I even forgot that happened. But I am so excited to be a week away from this little boy, and I hope that this video helped you if you're in your last trimester or about to enter your last trimester. I hope you can get a little bit of insight on what you can expect. And again, if you are pregnant around the same time as I am, or just pregnant in general, leave me a comment down below, send me some messages about what you're experiencing. I have made so many new friends on Instagram, just kind of comparing symptoms and experiences and doctor's appointments and stuff. Just talking to you guys has been really, really fun and kind of easing my anxiety, knowing that I'm not the only one peeing herself or experiencing these lovely, lovely pregnancy symptoms. So before I end the video, I will show you my bump. If I can get up, this is a Tempur-Pedic bed, like I mentioned, and as comfortable as it is, it's really hard to get up and down being 39 weeks pregnant. This is a really awkward angle to be showing my bump. I'm like straddling this bed. This is, oh my gosh, it looks so much bigger on camera. This is 39 weeks pregnant. This is my bump. He is definitely lowering. You can see all the space that I have under my hands right now. There he is. This is what 39 weeks looks like. And I'm just so excited to meet him. I'm hoping that now that we are almost settled into our new place, I can start vlogging and sharing more content and just back to filming because I do miss filming. And I also forgot to mention that I am officially on maternity leave. I went on maternity leave on my birthday, which was January 21st, and it has been amazing and blissful and heavenly. And I'm just so excited to just take a break from work to concentrate on the new house and on this new baby that's about to pop out. And it's just been amazing. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.